What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 11 of season 2 of Hit the Books. Yet another week here with the boys, podcasting, giving out our takes on all things sports. Last week being week 8, I have our stats pulled up. Ace leading the board this week, going 8-7, just up over 3 units. Mackie behind him, 6-1, up almost a unit and a half, followed by myself at 2-3, minus 1.2 units, and Huff 4-5, minus 1.27 units in the NFL here, week 8. Lots to look forward to. Not a terrible week, but I need to do better myself, and I'm ready for this week. I'm not sure about my co-hosts, but let's jump in and introduce them. First up with Huff. Huff just getting back from a vacation, going to be joining us a little bit later. So Ace, the Bruins beating down on the Pens in overtime the other night. What else you got for me, buddy?
Yeah, I love to see that. Surprised you even dropped that as a Yinzer yourself. But I remember Huff was texting me during the game. He was hyped. He was like 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. And then I said, oh, look who won the game, though. It's the Boston Bruins, who I said from the start are very good. And they are, showing it early and often. But, yeah, great week. Obviously, not as perfect as I wanted it to be. Probably the best of the year for myself, but I expect a lot more, especially at Derek Carr's Raiders. They really didn't show up this weekend. I was very surprised by that. Made that a 2-unit play. And then didn't do too hot in the prime time on Monday night. Also another weird game with the Bills not even covering the spread, actually, even though I didn't bet that. But turned out to be a pretty wacky game. That was Sunday night. Yeah, that's
Monday
what I mean.
Monday was Browns.
Yeah, Halloween game. Yeah, tough day to remember their Halloween, right? But that was a good one. We all saw Nick Chubb was going to eat, and I think some of the other boys hit on it. But yeah, like I said, great week. Definitely want to keep building on it. I feel like the second half of the season so far, so weeks 5 through 8 have been pretty hot, so I want to keep that rolling. Ready here this week. A lot of bye weeks, so a lot of interesting picks here, a lot of plays. Yeah, that's all I got.
Good stuff, Ace. Yeah. Happy to see a good week here out of you. But like you said, let's pick it up. We all need to pick it up. Mackie, you're up next, buddy. You got a push here this week, 6-1. Nice to see you here, buddy. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I finally had another positive week this week, getting back on track. Monday Night Football was, I think I broke even on it, but that over that was a pretty brutal beat on that over. It was a push, so you'll take a push 9 out of 10 times, but I feel like I was on the right side of that one. But yeah, just jumping into this week.
Yes, sir. Lots of good stuff from the boys. Week 9 here in the NFL is ready to roll. Lots of trends to get us going. We'll jump into the NFL here shortly. We got some other things to cover. The World Series is in full swing. Phillies and Astros. Mackie, you want to start us off with some World Series talk? How about them Phillies, right?
Yeah, this Phillies team is just playing out of their minds right now. I mean, even that fan base, I mean, they're 6-0 in the playoffs this year at home, and their fan base is actually like making an impact on these games. I mean, they're out of control. They're definitely the most passionate fans in the game right now, and that team is just playing out of their mind. Bryce Harper playing the best baseball he's ever been playing, doing it at the perfect time. I mean, I just don't see any weaknesses in this team right now. And in baseball, when you get hot, you get hot, and the bats are going. So I definitely think the Phillies have a better chance of winning this series now. Obviously up 2-1, but my pick was the Astros. I think I'm going to go to the Phillies now.
Yeah, that's not a bad take, Mackie. I've been talking about these Phillies and how they can get hot. Had a good second half of the season down the stretch and really keep it to their own, led by the star in which you referred to in Bryce Harper. I mean, his storybook career just keeps building upon itself, so it almost seems evident that he's on his way to a World Series MVP. But I would tell you to pump the brakes a little bit on going all in. Up 2-1, the odds not looking as great for your Phillies now. They've looked good. I talked about it early from the beginning of the rounds that team had great odds. They had good odds coming in, so you should have jumped on early. But now I'd look back and see what you get for the Astros. I mean, that's a great team. They're not going to go to sleep. A lot of experience on that roster. They've been there before, as we all know. Christian Javier going tonight. He's a pretty good pitcher, so hopefully he can have a better outing than Lance McCullers. A lot of people thought he was tipping his pitches, which kind of helped the Phillies tee off. So they're going to need a strong performance out of him to quell that hot team. But yeah, like I said, I've been on the Phillies Still gonna ride with them here. I think they can close this out. I think they're due for one. Astros, this isn't as meaningful, but like I said, odds are tough. So I'd wait and see after tonight's game. I mean, I feel like Astros battle proven team will look to try and tie the series up. So I like the Phillies to win the series, but I'd look for your best lines and times to do that.
Good stuff there, boys. Yeah, World Series here in full swing. Seems like the Phillies might be able to do it. I don't know. I'm excited to watch that Game 3 getting delayed. Another game here tonight as we're recording here Wednesday. Good stuff. All right, let's jump into some NHL. The NHL has been throwing me for a loop here this year. I believe you guys probably think the same. The betting has just been odd. The standings are throwing me off as well. Like the Jets and Blackhawks above the Avs, and just some weird teams in some weird spots, in my opinion. What do you guys got for me?
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear you say that. I know you guys have had a tough start with the NHL season. I've actually been pretty hot there. Obviously, riding my hometown Bruins have been carrying me the most of the way, but I've been really hammering those good teams that you expect to win. The Carolina Hurricanes, they've been a bit of a wagon, one of my preseason picks. I like the Rangers on most nights. Another thing I'd tell our fans to be wary of, hockey's a different sport. I know Mackie definitely knows this one, right? You play 2 games in a row. You're playing on a back-to-back. I know that good team has a good line, but you got to watch there. You really have to look into your goalie matchups. As Mackie knows, he's one of the best goalies there in the ACC. Those are the most important positions in the game. It really controls the game. So I know these high-flying offenses and special teams units have really taken over today's NHL, but you have to look into those goalie matchups and pick with the top teams to win. I know Huff and Mackie have been talking about taking the Coyotes here and there. I mean, yeah, you get good odds and stuff like that, and sometimes they're in a good spot. But I tend to stay away from those lower teams and really lock in on teams like Tampa Bay, Carolina, Boston, New York, Colorado, Edmonton. Those teams that like to win games, because at the end of the year, when you come down to it, you're going to see those win totals and who's going to be well above 500. Those teams. So I'd expect the Blackhawks to fizzle out a little bit before Patrick King gets traded. Winnipeg Jets, like you mentioned, that's a crazy one. I mean, they have a good roster and they have one of the best American goaltenders in the NHL. So I actually am a fan of the Jets. I think they might be able to stick around in the West. We know it isn't as strong as the East. Not as many contenders out there. So, yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the season. A lot of teams been playing well, like I said. I don't know what you got, Mackie, on the NHL.
Yeah, I'm just gonna point out I took Yotes last night against the Panthers and it hit. But I mean, I know what you're saying here with like taking the higher teams, because when you do look at the totals at the end of the season, the best teams have like 47 plus wins. So you are right in that aspect. But you got these teams this year, and the Panthers are 5-4-1, dude, and like Leafs 4-4-2, Avs are 4-4-1. Like these teams, like you're betting on the best teams, you're gonna lose, and the odds are not gonna be that high. So I feel like in the beginning of the season, when you can get some of the worst teams at lower odds, you can't really you underestimate some teams like the Montreal Canadiens. You can get it plus 250 on the daily. Who are, what are they sitting there at? 5-5. So I mean, you're better off taking them, where you can get them at plus, than taking the fat favorites who, you got to put $200 to win 100.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The value is huge there. Like one thing, you're on Aaron's side of caution, because I do agree with you. Off my cards, I do sometimes take those dogs, but I really look into the matchups. I'm a big fan of home teams. I'm a big fan of 1.5 spreads on the right night with the right matchup and back-to-backs. Another wagon that I've been on, probably my favorite team in the West. My favorite team in the East, the Bruins, we all know they've been hot, so that 1.5's been covering a lot. But the Vegas Golden Knights, led by Jack Eichel, one of my favorite players in the league, they've been a wagon ever since they came into the league, and they're continuing that trend. Another thing I've been seeing, a lot of the games out west been going over a lot of those weaker teams. You got the Ducks, the Kings, the Sharks. A lot of those teams giving up a lot of goals. So, like I said, if Mackey's right, if you don't have that minus line on the money line, don't be afraid to play that minus 1.5. In hockey, it's the best sport to take a line like that, because we all know you get the empty net at the end of the game, and you have a pretty good chance of putting one in the back of the net, especially with the skill of these guys nowadays. And in an offensive league, people are looking to boost those stats for that next contract. So, yeah, I've been making good money on it. Teams I'd advise, though, Bruins, Hurricanes, Rangers, Oilers, and Knights, definitely. Pens have been pretty good too lately. Your Pens, Jesse.
They can do it when they want to, man. I'm telling you.
Bruins and Oilers have both just been absolute wagons.
You haven't been on the Knights train?
No, I had. So I started. Dude, Jack Eichel's been a fucking beast for them. He's been playing. He is a difference maker. He's the reason that they're 9-2 right now.
He's happy though. That's why.
Yeah, you're right, honestly. But I was on him last night. I had Rangers Vegas in a parlay, and that was 2 big overtime winners. So I sweat that one out. But yeah, I've been on Vegas. I started off the year. I bet against them. I think the first game, and they won like 4-0 or something. I was like, all right, I gotta ride this team. But you're right. You're right about checking the goalie matchups and everything. Goalies are a huge part of this game, and you got a backup in there that's playing their 3rd game of the season, and they might not be comfortable playing against like Matthews and Marner, and it becomes a huge factor when you're looking at lines like that. So.
Yeah, definitely been a hot start to the NHL season. I'm still waiting for us to hit that hometown parlay. I think it was Mackey's Rangers that let us down the one time we took it, but we'll have it again.
Against the Sharks.
Yeah, in the Garden too.
No, I think I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough. But I bet you it might have been a whole lot. That's like we're saying though. Really, I think that was prime example of what Mackey and I were touching on though. Earlier in the year, the Rangers were on that back-to-back after they started hot up north in Canada. I think they were playing against Winnipeg maybe on their opening night, and they turned to Halak on a back-to-back road trip. I mean, we advise everybody to stay away from that. We're not taking those are the money lines that can fool you. You don't want to get duped.
Coming from a Ranger fan, do not bet on the Rangers when Halak is in net. He's actually 0-3. He hasn't won.
Oh yeah, that's why we got rid of him in Boston.
Yeah, I don't know why we picked him up.
Nah, career backup. He's just there. Just as a safety net.
He's not even good enough to be a backup at this point.
Yeah, he's kind of old, washed up. Igor's that guy, though. He's going to play, 70 games for you in the season?
He doesn't like playing back-to-backs. He hasn't played a back-to-back. Actually, he just did, but he hasn't before that in 2 years, 3 years.
Off the top of your head, do you recall how many games, percentage-wise at least, that he played last year in his Vezina campaign?
Yeah.
He had 30 wins, didn't he?
He had 30. I think he was 34, 13, and 2.
Yeah, so about 50.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. I'd expect him to play more, honestly, but I get that he's young and they're trying to limit him and keep him healthy, so that's a good play. But yeah, definitely been a great start to the season. We got a great game between Mackey's Rangers and my Bruins tomorrow night, so definitely look out. We might be getting a play out for that one. That could be one of our NHL games of the year so far.
Gonna be a hell of a game, especially in the Garden. So you got that fiery Bruins team going, so gives the Rangers a tiny bit of an advantage in that game. Line should be close. What do you think of the line will sit at? Minus 130?
Both teams are going to be riding their power plays. It's whoever can stay out of the box, probably.
You think it's a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game?
It's going to be low, but there's going to be goals on the power play. I could see a 4-3 overtime game, though. That's not low, I know, but it's going to come late. I'm going to say it's going to play slow to start, at least.
Yeah, it should be a good game.
That is going to be a killer game.
It's going to be a special teams unit. I think 2 of the top power play units in the league, those 2 teams.
Definitely. Probably the top 2, other than
Colorado,
Edmonton. Avs and Edmonton. I don't know. They can compete.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch for sure. Maybe a playoff preview early on.
The NHL's always got stuff going on. One of my favorites. Good stuff there. And with that, let's jump into a little NBA. I'm not too knowledgeable, but Celtics, I think moving their coach moving on. Ace, what else you got for us? Mackie, you as well.
Yeah, first off, I know you were alluding to the Ime Udoka news. Huff was texting me about that a little bit. He was released before the season, so that's old news. Not even released really, but his position stripped.
He was suspended.
Yeah, suspended, position stripped for the season.
Did you see what Marcus Smart said about it?
Yeah, Marcus Smart didn't like that at all.
Yeah, but I don't think the team was expecting him to leave. I think they were just waiting for him to come back.
Yeah, no, the boys loved him. He coached Team USA. He rallied them around. That's why they brought him in, because he would be perfect for this group. And
what was his suspension for again?
Sexual allegations, I guess, is the best way to term it.
Damn.
Internal organization though.
Yeah, it wasn't an NBA suspension. It was a Celtics suspension.
Yeah, I think he was hooking up with like some guy's wife that was on the board, and she worked for the team too, something along those lines. But yeah, funny thing is, the Missoula, the coach who stepped up for him, is actually a Rhode Island guy. Went to Bishop Hendricken, probably one of the top private schools in the state. And then he went to West Virginia too, so that's pretty crazy. Not much coaching experience, but I think with that roster and in today's NBA, the coach doesn't matter as much as LeBron James has shown us. But just to go over the NBA a little bit, obviously the Bucks and Giannis starting off hot. They're leading the way in the East with Cleveland and Boston right behind. Boston we've been talking about, but Cleveland, all those offseason additions they made in Mobley and Allen, the pieces they already had there. I think a lot of people saw a big year coming from them. They started off hot, but I don't know if this will carry throughout, but they're definitely a playoff team down the stretch with that much talent. The Nets definitely surprising there. We saw their coach get fired, like you were saying, Ime Udoka going there. That's going to be crazy. I mean, all the situations going on around him. Now you have him with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Ben Simmons. I don't know if that's the best recipe, but he is a good coach, so maybe he can get it done. Out west, one of the big stories, obviously LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis not really holding it down and doing much. A lot of people worried about that. Also, defending champions not starting off too hot. I think they'll bounce back for sure, but the Lakers are a team I'm definitely worried about. I don't know what you got, Mackie.
Yeah, that Cavs team is definitely surprising a lot of people. And the one person you forgot to say was Donovan Mitchell on that team. So he's the real face around. He's the real face around that 5-1 record right there. So
I said the Spider.
Did you?
Yeah. I didn't say Donovan Mitchell. I said led by the Spider.
I didn't hear you. But yeah, team looks really good. They look like an actual playoff contending team. So, you got the Sixers 4-4, not looking too hot, but Joel Embiid will pick things up and they'll end up a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. Warriors 3-5, Miami 3-5, two teams that I think will end up top 4 seeds in their respective conferences. I mean, teams, they're not going to panic. You got teams like Mavs are 3-3 as well. I think they'll be top 4 as well. I think Luka. Have you seen his numbers this year? Just saw he's like almost averaging a triple double. Probably. Yeah, already the front runner for MVP this year. So he'll lead them to a pretty high seed, in my opinion. I don't know, not much to say about the NBA, certainly. Did you know the Lakers are going to be this bad?
I didn't think they were going to be this bad. Did you?
No, but dude, they didn't do anything. Who'd they bring in?
They don't have any cap to do anything. They have to move Russell Westbrook, which everybody talks about, but never actually happens.
Yeah, he needs to go. His chemistry.
But like you said, it's early in the season, so NBA. Even I know it's like a same length about as an NHL season, but NHL every game matters. The NBA they take games off. I mean, you can be they have 10 seeds get to the playoffs now, 10 or 11 seeds.
It's just soft, dude. It's so soft.
Yeah,
so they're hard to even watch.
Yeah, the early season NBA, everybody just feeling themselves out, getting loose. Definitely some good matchups though. I know the Celtics and Sixers, whenever they match up, I want to throw that one on. Jason Tatum still coming into his own, take over the league, and then you got the Phoenix Suns out west. They've been a force for the last 3 or 4 years now. So that's definitely. I think they're due. Devin Booker deserves his, right?
They're not going to get it.
You don't like the Suns?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think
their
one chance was that what was it, 2019?
The bubble?
No. Oh no, 2021. It was it last year?
What, 2 years ago when CP3?
2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah. 2 years ago, Bucks. I think there was their one chance. The league has only gotten better ever since, and I just don't think they've done enough to add to that roster to make them a championship
consistently
team.
Good though. Consistently a good team.
Yeah, consistently a problem, but they don't have enough to put them over the edge. They can't beat the Bucks. They can't beat the Warriors in a 7-game series, in my opinion.
All right, early take of the year. Who do you got coming out of the East and West? Real quick, fire them off.
I mean, it's too easy to say the Bucks right now, right?
Yep, you can say that though.
Obviously, yeah, they're 6-0. I mean, Giannis looks better than ever. The team's not even that healthy right now, and they're still dominating everybody. But go with the Bucks, and then Dubs.
Dubs going back to back. Yeah, they started off slow, like I said earlier, but I think they'll pick it up. Out
Bias
east,
pick. I'll say bias pick, but it's Dubs.
I'm a big Curry fan too. I just got his New Jersey, so I can see a reasoning behind that.
If
Then the
not,
East,
Mavs.
yeah, I don't think they win yet, but the East, I like the Celtics. Obviously, I was going to say that because they're biased, but that team, they were just in the finals last year and they added to that roster, so I don't see how they have a problem. Obviously, you have the sleeper Nets. I'm never going to sleep on them. I feel like everybody does. They started out slow, like the Dubs. I think they have a similar record, but there's so much talent. That's a team you don't want to see in the playoffs. So that's a sleeper pick. I'm going Celtics, sleeper Nets, and then out west, I do like the Suns a bit, but that's a tough call. What if Damian Lillard finally gets a ring out there? I don't think so, but
Come
that'd
on.
be pretty cool. That's my boy too. But I'll go Suns. I'll go with the Suns. I think they do get over the hump. They're battle tested, and they're going to get one eventually. I think in the next 3 to 5 years.
I don't think the Nets have it in them, but I obviously see why you're picking them up too.
Obviously,
All
great value
talents on
too.
their
Honestly,
team.
if you're ever looking at futures, they always have great value with a lot of talent.
Are they even a good value? I feel like they're always just boosted.
Last year, I'm going off of last year. They came in as like a play-in seed or like a 7 seed or something. Their odds aren't as good as like
And got swept.
yeah. Oh yeah, by the Celtics, who went to the finals though.
I love the Celtics, dude. I love that team.
Yeah, that Tatum and Brown are gonna get one. Is this the year? I mean, they added.
Yeah.
They don't even have Rob Williams back yet. He's one of the best players on the team.
I think last year was the year, honestly. See, dude,
Mm.
Nets are plus 850 to win the championship right now.
Yeah.
They have the fifth best odds to win the championship. They're 2-7 or whatever they are.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, the Warriors are probably up there too with a low record. I'm saying last year to be like going into the playoffs though. A few weeks before they were on the fringe of getting in. So watch that team down the stretch because if they do get in, which they probably will, you can get good value on a good team.
I just don't think they have it in them this year. I just don't think they have nothing really around them either. I mean, Ben Simmons, he still looks like shit. He still looks like he's playing with zero confidence. I just don't think, dude. The game of basketball, in 2018, LeBron James was single-handedly able to bring them to the finals, the Cavs to the finals. You cannot do that in this day and age. I really think the game has developed that much in the last 4 years, where you can't. One player or two players having enough skill is not enough. It's more of a systematic game nowadays.
Yeah, I'd agree for sure.
Good stuff out of the NBA, boys. Love hearing your takes and such. Let's try to get some plays out here soon. Lots of good stuff. All right, let's jump into some college football. It's that time of the year. The first college football playoff rankings are out, so let's run through them. Let's start at number 10, LSU coming in at plus 25,000. At number 9, USC at plus 6,000. Number 8, Oregon at plus 4,000. 7, TCU at plus 8,000. Number 6, Alabama, plus 300. At number 5, Michigan at plus 1,600. And going into our top 4, fourth, we have Clemson at plus 1,600. Georgia at plus 200. Ohio State at plus 200. And at number 1, Tennessee at plus 1,000. Mackie, what do you think about those college football playoff rankings?
What were those odds? Those odds were to win the national championship. The number 1 seeds plus 1,000. Huff actually said something to me yesterday that made me think about it a lot. They put Tennessee at 1 because they think that Georgia is gonna slaughter them this week, so that they can drop Tennessee only 3 though. So if they were at 3, you'd be out of the top 4. If you're 1 and you lose, you could be the 4th, which made a lot of sense to me. But I actually really like this Tennessee team. I think they're really good. I think they showed that against Bama, a healthy Bama team with Bryce Young. I don't know if he was 100%, but he looked pretty 100%. They kind of tormented them in the first half and let Bama get back into it. But essentially, I think the better team won that football game, and I think that they have a chance to beat Georgia this week as well. I know it's in Georgia, so it's a little different. They got the chance to play Alabama at home, so they had that crowd atmosphere in their favor. But I think they have a chance to beat Georgia as well this week, and I think this team could go undefeated and end up winning a national championship. This team's giving me a lot of vibes that LSU did in 2019. and I think it's relatively the same thing. So I think plus 1,000 odds to win the national championship for this team is incredible odds.
Mackie, who'd you say you're going with?
Tennessee.
I like Tennessee too. One of my buddies is a big Tennessee guy. He's at the field, the goalpost game where they took it out of the stadium, and
He was there?
yeah. He was talking him up this weekend too. He was at my brother's wedding, and he was talking about how I need to come down to one of those big Tennessee SEC games. But I thought those jerseys they were repping lately for Halloween weekend, those blackouts were pretty sick. Definitely a good team, and they're an SEC proven team. You know, they have big wins. They've beaten some of the top contenders, and they have Georgia's standing in the way. Though I'm big on Georgia. I mean, from the start, I thought they were going to go back to back, but like,
So did I, to be honest. But
it's tough to call out a front runner, though. I don't want to be that guy, but
I think Georgia doesn't look as good as I thought they were going to.
they still like. I don't even think they're playing their best football though.
Yeah, against like those shitty teams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the quarterback though. Obviously, college football isn't like the NFL. Where
Edson Bennett.
You don't need the stud quarterback. I think he's older than Joe Burrow, which is crazy to me. But yeah, plus 1,000 odds on Tennessee is great. I really do like that. They'll have to stick out the rest of the year, which is pretty tough. So yeah, I'm my money would be on Georgia for sure. I really don't see anybody beating them, but by odds, I do like your Tennessee pick. I'd stay away on Alabama for sure.
Yeah, they're looking tough to even get into the playoff. What is their odds?
Plus 300. Yeah, you'd think they'd be better.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's all. Like, I'd go Georgia. I know that we've all been high on them all year, as the whole country has been too. But yeah, give me the Bulldogs at plus odds. That's still probably the best you're going to see them at for a while. It's only going to get worse, right? So.
Now, if they lose this week,
Yeah, I don't think they are.
All right, good stuff, boys. I got a little trend here out of the Maction games that the over is 58, 26, and 3 in Maction games since 2017. So those games played on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hitting the over most of the time. So pretty interesting trend there. I did not know that. All right, I think that is going to wrap up all our other talk. Let's jump into Week 9 of the NFL. We are ready. And the teams we got on bye weeks this week are the Browns, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Giants, the Steelers, and the 49ers. So Mackie is sadly unable to watch his Giants play, as well as Huff and I are unable to watch our Steelers get their job done. But with that, let's jump into this Thursday night football game. Before we jump into our games, I want to run through some quick trends that I got overall for this year and this week. Here's some quick stats looking back to the Public's 2021-2022 record against the spread. They went 5-11 against the spread in Week 1. The worst week was Week 1. And the first winning week against the spread didn't come until Week 4, going 10-6 against the spread that week. And the best week overall was Week 14, going 12-2 against the spread. Again, this is stats from last year. But some overall stuff for this year, our favorites are 9-5. In Week 8 straight up, in 6-7-1 against the spread. Unders went 7-6 on Sunday, despite it seeming like a high-scoring Sunday. Along with that, favorites are 72-47-1 straight up this year. Underdogs are 66-50-4. And that's going to wrap up my trends here in Week 9. So let's jump into our Thursday night football game. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans. A huge spread for the Eagles here at -14. Their money line sitting at -770. And the total sitting at 45.5. The trends I got for this one are that Philadelphia is 7-0 for just the second time in franchise history. And a double-digit road favorite for just the fourth time since 1980. And before you run out and bet that -14 at Houston with this trend, knowing that Philly is 0-3 against the spread in those 3 other games, losing the last 2 outright. So not doing so hot when they're that double-digit favorite. Along with that, they are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games played on a Thursday. And for the Texans, they're 3-10 against the spread in their last 13 games on a Thursday, and they've covered the past 2 times as a double-digit home dog. So lots of varying trends there. Let's jump over to the boys. Ace, you want to get us going on this one?
Yeah, definitely not as easy of a game as everybody is thinking. The Texans, I've been high on them since the beginning of the season. One of those hard-nosed teams. They play football. Every game's tight with them, you know. They have Dameon Pierce, one of the top rookies in the league, vying for Rookie of the Year with his rushing performances put on so far. Something to definitely monitor is the play of Davis Mills as of late, hitting a little bit of a sophomore slump, and Brandon Cooks holding out. I think he really wanted to get traded. We saw him all over social media, skipping practice, talking about being traded, never got actually moved. Seen some reports of him actually considering being released by the team, which would be nice if you hold them in fantasy or something like that, but not too great for the prospects of this game. I know they have some other young playmakers and Philip Dorsett there, but against an Eagles defense that's one of the best in the league, and they have so many pieces on that side of the ball. We've been talking about it all year with their offseason acquisitions and the trades, free agency signings, rookies. Like, I know Jordan Davis is hurt. I don't think he's playing tomorrow night. But they still have so much on that team. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Jalen Hurts is rolling. You have Miles Sanders and A.J. Brown. I don't like 13 points at home, though. This screams trap game to me. I don't think that the Texans are the ones to end this undefeated streak, but I do think they could cover plus 13 in the prime time at home in a slower game than most people expect. One of my favorite bets is going to be a prop one. You guys know I love those prop prime times. Miles Sanders, I was reading some reports today about how the Texans play a lot of cover what was it? They play a lot of cover 3, I believe, cover 2, and they drop back all game. That's what they do. And Miles Sanders is going to be wide open in the flats. You know, Jalen Hurts will be checking it down to him. He's a great playmaker. He needs one catch to break his prop. Sitting at plus 140 is Miles Sanders over 17.5 receiving yards. That's something I'm going to look at. And then for touchdown props, I still like Jalen Hurts to get in the prime time, and I do like A.J. Brown after his 4 touchdown performance. I don't really know who can cover him on the other side of the ball. He used to torch this team as a member of the Titans, and now he gets to do it again as a member of the Eagles with his boys. So, yeah, I'm going to be looking props here. And I do like the Eagles to win, but I think that the Texans may be covering the spread here in a low-scoring game. Mackie, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the Texans here covering the spread. It's just too high of a spread for a home team on a primetime game. I definitely think it's more of a slower game. I don't think Houston is the first team to beat the Eagles this year. I think Eagles definitely find a way to pull it out. I really don't think it's that close either. I think it's more of like a 10-point game, maybe a backdoor spread for the Texans, but I don't think the Eagles are ever actually in danger of winning this game. Another play I would look at, because I probably wouldn't play 14 or Texans here. So another play I was looking at was like A.J. Brown's over receiving yards. It's only sitting at 70, and like you said, I don't really know who's guarding him on the other side of the ball. So that's probably one play that I would look at for this game. Pretty shitty Thursday night game in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so many weapons on that side of the ball for them. I think you got Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, A.J. Brown. We all saw last week what he did, you know? He's going off right now. And that defense is so good. I don't see how Davis Mills is going to put points on the board. The only way that the Eagles don't end up covering the spread is they end up hurting themselves with turnovers and such. But like you said, that backdoor cover could come back to haunt them, especially at home in the prime time, you know? So 13 points is a lot, like you said. I'm definitely looking props as the Eagles stay undefeated this week. But maybe an Eagles team total over might be something I'll look at, or an under for the Texans on their points.
I like it. I think we're on the same side here. Yeah, see, I don't even want to mess around with that then.
That scares Mackie right away. But I figured that coming out. Even my Phillies boys were nervous of it. So it could be a trap game, but I just don't think the Texans have enough to pull out a win. But to cover it, they definitely, any team in the NFL can do that at home in the prime time.
Alrighty, and just as we're about to finish up our Thursday night game, we are joined by the one and only Tyler Huffnagel. Thanks for joining us, buddy, back from vacation. What do you got for us Thursday night football?
Yeah, had to catch a first flight home to make the recording a little bit late, but as always, on time for the NFL segment. Couldn't miss this. Tough week after stringing together a couple positive weeks for myself the past couple of weeks, going 4-5 last week, but looking to get back in the green in week 9. A couple plays I'm liking so far, but I know you guys said you were going over this Thursday night game. Eagles, Texans, I see a 14-point spread here. I see a home underdog with 14 points. I'm definitely going to be leaning on the Texans here. It depends on what kind of Texans team comes out and plays. We could have a Dameon Pierce run for 100-something yards on the Eagles. The Eagles' defense is obviously legit. I think a lot of people are going to be taking the Eagles. This is going to be one of my situations where I'm going to see where the money's going. I'm anticipating heavy money on the Eagles, but that's my 2 cents. I'm really liking the Texans in this spot on Thursday night, but I don't know what either of you guys said.
You taking a money line, Huff?
No, didn't say that.
Yeah, no, we both thought that 13 points was too much for an Eagles spread here.
But like I was gonna say the same thing. Like if they don't cover that game, they're gonna lose by 28.
Yeah, we were saying maybe a backdoor cover. I mean, we know how feisty those Texans are, but I think Mackie was in agreement with me. We don't think the Houston Texans are the team that beats the only undefeated team in the NFL's streak.
It's a weird spot though. Thursday night football, like it's a huge spread. Everyone has their eyes on the Eagles right now. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I really like the points.
Yeah, I was saying that it's a big trap game. I mean, that's so many points, but I don't think they have enough on offense to get a win here. I know there's no Jordan Davis like I alluded to earlier, but yeah, you guys heard my points on this game. I don't think that's enough offense really out of Houston to get the win against such a hot team.
Mackie, have you looked at the percentage of money yet?
82 on the Eagles spread.
Yeah, I'm cool with my pick. Yeah, cool. I didn't even look at that. That's sick.
I was waiting for Jesse to say it.
I was trying to look on my way home because I definitely knew I liked that game. I saw that spread and I was like, yeah, I'll take the home dog. Which kills me. I keep betting against the Eagles, and like obviously last week I didn't take the Steelers, but I've just been finding plays in these Eagles games where I've been betting against weird at like the other team's team total or like Eagles team total. The one week was like set like at like 28 or 29. Like obviously they're a high flying offense, but like I don't know, some weeks they're going up against other defenses. Like I just feel like they're the public's team right now. Like obviously being 7-0 or 8-0, whatever the hell they are, people are jumping on them every week.
Yeah, Huff, lots of stuff leaning in your favor there with the Texans spread. So lots to look forward to there Thursday night football. Let's jump into some of these Sunday games. Sunday, 1 o'clock. First up, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots. Patriots are favorite here at -5.5. Their money line sitting at -255, and the over-under sitting at 39.5. No trends from me in this one. Ace, do you want to get us rolling your Patriots? What do you think they're going to do this week? Home against the Colts.
I love this spot for the Patriots. I love the spot for Bill Belichick and that defense. Really, what is the driving engine of that whole team? They've been playing great, especially at home. Bill Belichick, defensive mastermind, he has the rings to prove it. But 5.5 is a lot of points here. I mean, we're winning games off the right leg of Nick Folk, so I'd be looking at that 1.5 bet. I know that Huff finally carded one. I've been saying it, but this is definitely a spot with Nick Folk, who's so consistent, and the Patriots who are so consistently good at not getting in the end zone when they get close. But with Mac Jones reclaiming his job and the two-headed snake of Ramondre and Damian Harris, I do think they get the win here this week to get that record above 500 and get back into the talks and a little bit more belief in the system. I don't think it's Zappy season anymore. I think it's Mac Jones
about
time.
me?
Yeah,
It's just in your head on and off the pod.
Yeah,
own storage.
I know
in my
Mac's a big Zappy guy. That's why. Billy Zapp, Huff's boy Billy. He's going to be having a nice cap on the bench while Mac Jones gets a back-to-back wins. I think the Patriots get the job done against Sam Ellinger and gang. I mean, if you're coming off the bench to replace the old Matt Ryan, you can't do much, and especially against this defense, playing lights out and with potential depoy and Matt Judon. I mean, What else are you gonna say? I mean, I don't see how this team can really put points up, especially without Jonathan Taylor, such a crucial injury, the new Peyton Hillis of the NFL. Yeah, so I like the Patriots here, but I'm not gonna be taking the points. They might be in a money line type play. Definitely low scoring, and then Nick Folk to kick those field goals, Jacoby Myers or Ramondre to eat for the Pats on Neo.
I don't know about this game. I think this is a tricky game. I liked the Patriots last week. I think the Patriots looked a little better than they did in the beginning of the season. But Sam Ellinger looked pretty good, and he gained a little confidence going into that game. And I actually live bet Washington money line live, and I think I squeaked that one out by the skin of my teeth because I don't think they should have won that game. I think Sam Ellinger, as the game went on, got very comfortable and was making elite throws that Matt Ryan wasn't able to make. So I think this team is probably a little better right now with Sam Ellinger. What's that? What's that, Ace? Oh, never mind. I think this team's a little better with Sam Ellinger, so I think this could be a close game. I think if you're gonna take Colts here, that you're gonna take the money line. But yeah, I think there's a little profit there.
Yeah, 1 point before you go, Huff. If you guys recall last year too, the Patriots kind of owe the Colts a loss. I mean, we got kind of trounced by them early on. I know it was Carson Wentz leading the way, and it was offensive player of the year, Jonathan Taylor, not my ankle hurts, Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, the Patriots really owe them one. I think that defense really wants to get a win. They played stout last year and almost pulled the rabbit out of the hat and came back from like a 24-point deficit. So on their home turf this week, I think they get it done against the Lucas Oil Stadium Colts.
Yeah. I don't know, Mackie. I'll stem back to what you said real quick. I'm leaning on the Colts here, but I'm going to take the points. I kind of like the 5.5 is a weird number. I'm waiting to see if this could maybe go to 6 with the Patriots on their home field. See where things are going to go. How this line moves later in the week. Obviously, we record on Wednesdays, so usually the lines that we talk today usually aren't the ones that we're betting on Sunday. But if I could get a 6.5 point line here with the Colts, and then to stem into what Ace said, I don't necessarily love the Colts to win this game. I'll take the points if they win it, they win it. I miss out on an extra unit, but I could see Belichick scheming this game, and kind of like what Ace said, just Ramondre Stevenson handling this game, and I think he's kind of taken over as your number one running back in my opinion, and he's definitely stepped up into that role, having stringing together a couple of really good games for the Patriots over the past couple of weeks. Big win last week in a divisional game against the Jets, who looked like obviously the real Zach Wilson kind of showed up in that game, throwing 3 pretty bad interceptions, if you ask me. And I've been pretty high on that Jets team all year. But it looks like they've come back to earth, and same with the other New York team, the Giants. But just to stem back to this game, I'm definitely going to lean on the Colts here. I don't know if I'll be carding it, but I like the Colts +6.
Yeah, what was I going to say there, Huff? Zach Wilson really looked like Sam Darnold there seeing ghosts on Halloween weekend.
Dude, the one where he just threw the ball, who was the Patriots defender that was just standing there? He was like, did he actually just throw that to me?
Devin McCourty. I don't know what you're talking about. The one where he threw it out of bounds, he threw it to nobody, right to Devin McCourty?
Yeah, right to Devin McCourty. That's who it was.
Devin McCourty, get right game for him there. 2 interceptions against the division rival where we just little brother the Jets once again.
Alrighty. Colts and Patriots, going to be a good game, I think. Weird spread there, 5.5, but lots to look forward to. Next up, the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Another big spread here. The Bills is the favorite at -12.5. The money line sitting at -620 in the total at 46.5. The trends I got for this one are that the Jets as a double-digit home... The Jets are a double-digit home dog. Oh my God. The Jets have been a double-digit home dog just 4 times since 1980. 3 times last season, all hit the over for the total. Next, the Jets have lost 6 straight games before a bye week. Then with a bye week next week. Tough one to say if they even put up a fight against the Bills. Who wants to start off with this one? Huff, what are you thinking?
Yeah, like you said, a 12.5 point spread or 13, however you want to look at it, 12.5 on FanDuel. But yeah, this Jets team, like I said, I think the real New York Jets have arrived. They did their fair share of winning people money early on in the season, but tough spot for them against a Bills team. I know the Jets are at home. That 12.5 could be, I mean, it could be 14-0 before the Jets even think about it. But that Jets defense is kind of hanging in these games. The past couple weeks, they haven't necessarily played any like explosive offenses. But they're going to get I feel like, a really good look of what their defense is capable of against this Bills offense. I don't know if I'll card this, but I like the Bills with the points here. I think they handle him.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you here. It's gonna be it should be a blowout in my opinion. I think this could be a game kind of like Bills Steelers. Just Bills take off early, don't really turn around. Jets have Jets have Jets defense has been all right this year. Sauce Gardner's been playing all right, but I think he's really going to get exposed this game. You got two elite wide receivers you have to cover with Arm and Josh Allen, so they'll probably get exposed this week. I kind of like the under. I mean, it's a divisional game. The home team's double digit underdogs, so the statistics behind it tell you to take the under. So I kind of like the under here, but I'm leaning Bills points. I really think they cover this game. I think they expose that Jets defense once for all.
I definitely agree with you guys that the Bills win this game, but it's definitely going to be on my card this week. It's going to be a 2-team or 3-team teaser. It's definitely going to be Bills with the points. You can get them down to -2.5. I'm going to love that spread. Huff talked about those 10-point teasers before in the past. I mean, I love that line of field goal separation because I do expect the Bills offense to roll, but the one unit that has been great, I know Zach Wilson's been terrible lately, and without Breece Hall, they don't have much of a forecast on offense. It's really just Tyler Conklin, and he's taking deep shots to those young receivers. But that defensive unit for the Jets is really underrated. It is a great defensive front, and I beg to differ on the Sauce Gardner front. I think he actually clamps a little bit this game and turns even more heads, and those naysayers.
Stephon Diggs?
Yeah, that's a very tough matchup, so let's see. But I think he can actually step up to the plate. Do I think he shuts him down completely? No. But do I think that Diggs is held under 100 when covered by Sauce? Yeah, that's another thing to look at is when he's covered by him, right? I think that Sauce Gardner actually gets an interception. Josh Allen's loose with the football. He likes to throw one once a week, usually in those blowouts. So I do even like the Jets. The Bills with the points, but it's just too many on the road in a divisional game, like Huff likes to say. Jets team total is 16.5. Could lean there, but I'm definitely going to take the Bills tease to 2.5. Love that play. Even love them tease 6 or 7 too. Whatever you want to do, as long as it's a touchdown or less, I'll take the Bills for sure.
That's what I was going to cut in and say before you started your point. I was going to say this is a game I'd like to look at. When Mackie was talking about the under, I was going to say I almost like the Jets team total under more because if Allen gets rolling, I feel like they could put up a 35 spot very quick, and I'm seeing a 38.5 point total or 39.
Pick 6 by that defense too.
Yeah, like
the over-under is 47.
47?
Yeah.
Maybe, all right, I was looking at the wrong game. But another thing, but back to what I was saying, then Ace kind of jumped into it. I would look at the Jets team total under. I feel like Zach Wilson, another 2 interceptions. You can maybe see Joe Flacco in this game if Zach Wilson comes out and throws 2 picks in the first half. So that could be a good or a bad thing as a Bills better. I don't know if you necessarily want to see Joe Flacco, as he was shown early on in the season that he was just going to cover spreads, and that's how the Jets started hot. And then Zach Wilson kind of came in to a team that kind of already had their swagger throughout the first couple games of the season. I was able to just get the job done with pretty. I like their head coach in Saleh. I think they have a really good future in New York with the Jets. That defense, like I said, we said Sauce Gardner. I saw a redraft. The NFL said if the teams redrafted, Sauce Gardner should have went number 1 overall. I thought that was pretty crazy, but he's just
that size and athleticism at such a young age. You can't teach size. It's like he has all the right abilities of a cornerback that you want, and then he's 6'4". What?
Yeah, and what was crazy back to that redraft thing, the Jets, they had a bunch of first-round picks, but the 3 guys they picked, him, Garrett Wilson, and some other dude on the defense, was all ranked in the top 10. So the Jets had a pretty elite draft.
That defensive unit is no joke, really. I mean, you get so many high picks over time. Obviously, that's bound to happen, but like
you got to hit on one of them sooner or later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the Jaguars too. But
I was gonna say the Browns. Baker finally gets them to the playoffs, and then they're like, "Yeah, fuck you. We want this dude."
Yeah, I mean, smart decision. Even though I'm a Baker guy, he's not very good.
Like it's looking like a smooth for the Browns.
But yeah, I mean, with Salah though, great coach. But the only tough thing is, what did the Jets always struggle with developing their quarterbacks? They have so much youth on the offense, and they bring in a defensive-minded coach. So I don't really know how they're going to start. They have so much talent, but it's wasted talent with Garrett Wilson. I think you guys saw that quote from what's his name last week, the wide receiver Elijah Moore, saying
Yeah,
they were
you just
asking
won't
why
throw
he
him the
doesn't.
ball.
They're like, "How do you feel?" He's like, "He doesn't even look at me when he throws the ball." So I don't know. Like what? It's a waste of talent. So much waste of talent. And I know that without Brees Hall, it kind of changes their whole offense. But I think this week it's going to be a lot of
They didn't
playing
move
catch up.
him
And it's
with
going to
all
be going
these
to.
moves at the deadline. Did you guys go over some of these moves that happened at the deadline?
No, we did not.
I have I saved a list. If we want, I can just kind of roll through it because we're kind of talking trades and we kind of got off it real quick. But let me pull up this post real quick. Yeah, obviously the trade deadline was yesterday, so we had a bunch of moves, and a lot of these teams, like Elijah Moore, was one of the ones I was waiting to see where he went, and just some of the biggest moves yesterday. We had Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins, Chase Claypool to the Bears, T.J. Hawkinson to the Vikings. That was an absolute robbery of a trade. The Lions got robbed there. Naeem Hines to the Bills. That was one I said I liked. I think that's a good check down back for Josh Allen to go to.
That is a big one. I like that one.
Calvin Ridley to the Jags. That's obviously we don't really know what that's going to mean. Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins, Chase Edmond to the Broncos, and then basically the rest of them were kind of irrelevant. I don't even know why they're on this graphic, but a lot of moves yesterday, and then a couple of the no moves, Elijah Moore being one of them, and I don't know, just like you said, Ace, a lot of question marks going on there, but I'm more looking at the Jets and Giants. Like I keep saying, I just keep putting them in the same sentence because they're both from New York. Like they're not even in the same conference. I think it's sick that they could play each other in the Super Bowl, and like they're both getting good at the same time. I'm not making any hot takes here, Mackie. I see you looking at the camera a little funny at me. Like I'm not saying we're going to see a Jets Giants Super Bowl anytime soon.
It's never. They'll never. They're neither of them are ever good enough where they're gonna line up to be in
at
a
the
Super
same
Bowl
time.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Because
Giants,
when the
Super
Giants
Bowl
were on
in a
their
row.
run with the Patriots, when they beat the Patriots twice, the Jets were like, eh. And then the Giants cooled off, and that's when the Jets went to the AFC Championship, right?
Jets
I mean,
win.
That was a fluke year for the
Yeah,
Jets.
but that was
No, dude. Mark
the Jets
Sanchez
went
was a dog.
the Jets went
The
all in on that
franchise?
team. That was the expectation.
What'd you say?
The Sanchez, they were built off of their defense, though. Like I said, if you can own the trenches, you can win any game.
Yeah.
They had that was like I hate to I don't know, that was like back then the version of a super team. Like they just signed every free agent.
What, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, and LT with Darrell Revis and
Antonio
Antonio Cromartie?
Holmes, Darrell Revis. Yeah, Darrell Revis was there, but
Yeah. But no, like
big name.
one point I want to bring up before we get off this Bills-Jets game. It's surprising to me how these Bills have so much money to pay everybody. Didn't Naeem Hines just get that contract from the Colts? How are they affording him on that roster?
Sketchy.
It's the cash over cap shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they pay these salaries. Like, they're just giving dudes like 20 million signing bonus. They're like, hey, here's a check for 20 million. You now make 4 million a year. It's like, okay, I guess I'll take the 20 million right now. Like,
You know what that means, though, to me? Them getting Naeem Hines is James Cook isn't as good as they thought he was.
yeah. And Zach Moss.
Yep. Well, we knew Singletary and Moss were nothing.
Yeah.
Well, Singletary still uses the number one back.
I was gonna say I didn't say Singletary because I think he is capable. I think in that offense is so good. There's so much pressure taken off their run game that I mean, dude, you could put me at running back. I could probably rush for 40
No,
yards.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he's not a game changer. If they had a better Naeem Hines has that explosiveness. That's why they brought him in. You know.
Would you say, Matt?
Yeah, you're definitely right. Naeem Hines is definitely going in to be the number one back, 100%.
Yeah. Especially in that offense, it's so pass heavy.
That's what they need, dude. That's their only weakness is a running back, and now you're taking.
They should have got Kamara.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. They couldn't afford. They can't afford that, and they can't afford to give up that draft stock because even though they can afford those guys right now, they know a lot of that defense and those young playmakers they have. They're going to have to pay down the line. So those picks are going to be valuable to have in your back pocket.
And it's like a lot of these teams are seeing like the Bills. They're looking at this like they're like, okay, do we want to trade first round picks for players? We have a pretty good team right now. You look at the Rams right now; they're on the downslide, and they have no picks. This is coming from a team whose GM said, fuck them picks. Obviously, he's holding a Super Bowl trophy and has a ring on his finger. So you got to look at what it's worth. If you're a team that hasn't won in forever, Dallas Cowboys, Mackie, what do you think? Is that something that you're like, you're a Cowboys fan, if you saw tomorrow, like yesterday morning, the Cowboys traded, You know what I mean? All these picks for Bradley Chubb and like are going all in for Dak. He's having a good year. And you don't win a ring. You know how disappointing that is?
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think Dallas is the type of team that would go all in like that because we're consistently good enough to where we're not going to get a top pick, but not good enough to win a Super Bowl.
So we're always that's been the Steelers the past 10 years of my life since they won when I was in middle
but
school.
you guys have Super Bowls to prove. You have Super Bowls to show for it.
Yeah.
So it's just like they always think that they have enough in it to get there, and then their first round exit is almost every single year. So, it's the same thing every year. But like we're not in a situation right now to like go all out for players because we think that we have. Well, this year it's probably one of the best teams we've.
I think this year should have been the year you did it. If you go get Bradley Chubb, you have Bradley Chubb and Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you're right.
Marcus Lawrence, like that defense is already scary. I was so surprised they didn't make any moves, and the Packers didn't make any moves. Like there was so many
Packers. How did the Packers? I'm surprised Aaron Rodgers didn't make the Packers.
They're done. Yeah, that tells me that they know they're not making the playoffs.
Dude, Bucks are in trouble too.
I saw something.
I mean, I guess that division's pretty easy to win. That's all they got to do. But
yeah, but I saw something today that if the season ends today, the Bucks have the 7th overall pick.
Jesus, it's like pre-Tom Brady times again.
That was a top Route 5 team to win the Super Bowl preseason.
Dude, week 1 they beat obviously a good Dallas team. I didn't think Dallas was that good, but they are.
I was gonna say everyone thought their opinions were flipped about that game because everyone was like, "Oh, Dallas is Dallas," and then Tom Brady's gonna kill him.
Yeah,
they did, and then everyone's opinion changed on Dallas or on both teams. They kind of just stayed the same. They were like, "Okay, I guess Tampa's Tampa," and then the next week we really saw as obviously Cooper Rush went on that run, but I don't even know what game we stopped on. That was a good conversation about that though.
Jets Bills.
Alrighty, yeah, wrapping up on Jets Bills, I think. Let's jump into the Miami Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. The Dolphins are our favorite in this matchup at an even -5. Their money line sitting at -215 and the over-under sitting at 45.5. No trends from me in this one. 77% of the money on Miami. Again, they're -5 here. What do we think? Mackie, you want to get us rolling in this one?
Yeah, weird spread. I still can't really get a feel on this Dolphins team. You never know what kind of Tua is going to come out. Ever since his injury, he hasn't looked as good as he did in those first few weeks. Obviously, that game against the Ravens, coming back 21 points, I think it was in the fourth quarter. But he obviously has it in them, and he has the weapons. His team has looked good enough to contend right now. They're sitting at 5-3. I just think this Bears team is not very good, and I don't know. A 5-point spread just isn't enough for me in the situation. Weather in Chicago could be a factor, so bring that into play. Obviously, we don't know what's going on over in at Soldier Field, so that could be a huge factor. But right now, I'm winning Miami -5. I think they have enough in them to cover a spread against a team like this right now, and where each team's sitting right now.
Yeah, like I said with that Dolphins team, I mean, I know that it's been a tough team to read, especially with the injury to Tua, so they haven't really been able to get into their own flow. But I'm really high on them. I like that coach they brought in from San Francisco. I like anybody that comes out of the Shanahan tree. 5 points, I don't mind that spread too much. They have so many pieces, and coming off the addition of Bradley Chubb, like Huff mentioned, they're going to be riding a high. They just got Jeff Wilson Jr. too in their backfield. I'm not too high on them, but that's a good piece to add in. They have a plethora of running backs. I know they dumped off Chase Edmonds, but Jeff Wilson's kind of a do-it-all, jack of all trades. You can plug him in, But I'm gonna ride that Tyreek Hill prop. I've been riding it every week, 6.5, 7.5 catches, whatever the hell it's at. It hits every week. They feed him the ball. He sees 10 to 15 targets a week. McDaniels wants to.
I was gonna say every time he's taken that, he gets 4 catches in the first half. I'm about to just start taking that too. That's a good prop.
Him and Waddle get fed so much. I mean, McDaniel's is a smart guy. He feeds his best players early and often. It's the best way to do it. And the way Tyreek Hill does it, he's just a game changer. You have to get the ball in his hand. You can even look at his yards prop. I think he's due for a touchdown, honestly. But anytime you get the ball in his hands, he's an explosive playmaker, and he needs to touch it at least 5 to 10 times a game. So he's going to get that prop every week. I've been hitting it. I probably hit it 3 or 4 times this year and double united it twice. So definitely look at that one again.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, I don't think they've lost a game this season when Tua's played the full game. Obviously, Tua had that crazy injury, and they ended up losing that game to the Bengals, correct? Was the game Tua got hurt? Bengals? Thursday Night Football?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is such a weird line. Like, I feel like they want me to take the Dolphins so bad. And Justin Fields, Mackie, I know your opinion on Justin Fields. He's been getting the job done, and they're starting to play to his strengths and run the ball, realizing what you need to do to make him have success. Like, I saw something on Twitter today. The Bears said that they took a couple plays out of the Ravens playbook. It's like, why didn't you do that 2 years ago, last season? Like, why are you making him throw the ball 30 times a game? He can't do that. He needs to throw the ball 18 to 20 times a game like Lamar does, rush for 120 yards. I know it's easier said than done, but like, they're finally getting the job done. And I'm not gassing up Claypool, but he has another receiver, takes some pressure off of Mooney. And I mean, I think Claypool's a very capable receiver. He's obviously had some crazy games in the NFL. It's been kind of inconsistent. But we've also seen him do some pretty stupid shit and cost us that game against the Vikings by fucking pointing downfield. But
And then trying to defend it.
Yeah, and then trying to defend it. But I don't hate the Bears in this spot. I think this could be a game they lose by like 3 at home. They've been getting dude, they put up how many points on that Dallas defense last week?
They've been playing good football, but it's all garbage time football. They beat the Patriots on a trap game where they smoked them, obviously. But I'm saying against the Cowboys, like, that's all garbage points. The Cowboys had that game handedly.
I had the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I had Cowboys
yeah.
first half and full game.
I mean, it wasn't all garbage time points, but it was like Cowboys were never in danger of losing that game, in my opinion. And we're even covering a spread, to be honest.
And I hate to say this, Mackie, because I'm high on the Cowboys too, but I think that this Dolphins offense is just a whole different animal than the Cowboys. Like, they move so fast. They have too many.
It's different.
I agree. That's just facts. That's not hating.
Cowboys are more of a big and heavy offense.
Well, the Cowboys have the potential to be one of the best offenses in the league. I think just with the Dak injury, it was more crucial than the Tua one. And all the injuries are like to the wide receiver core and like just people being in and out of the lineup. I think that this Dolphins offense, I like the coach out of Miami a lot better too. It's another thing. Mike McDaniel is one of the best coaches in the league, I think, this year. So I'm eager to see how his future goes. Tough as his divisional rival, but Bradley Chubb's going to be doing what Micah Parsons did last week, you know? He's going to want to make a name for himself in his first game. I like the points with the Dolphins here. Tyreek Hill to play well. Dolphins are going to roll this week, I think.
I'm with the A's.
I'm gonna watch this line up until Sunday. I don't love a 5. I never like a 5-point spread.
Like, why isn't it 6? Why isn't it 4?
That's what I mean. Like, what the hell's 5? When does a team win by 5?
It happens. When the spread's 5, it hits 5.
I was just gonna say when it's 5, they know it's gonna be 5.
Seems like Dolphins are the move here. Yeah, gonna watch that line, like you said, Huff, up until Sunday. But let's move forward to our next one, the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. The Packers the favorite in this one at -3.5. Their money line sitting at -194, and the over/under sitting at 49.5. No trends from me, but I think this is a pretty interesting matchup. I don't hate Lions plus 3.5 at all. What do you think, Huff?
My opinion on the Packers has changed so many times throughout this season. Early on, obviously going into the season, I picked them to win the NFC North. It's looking like they're not even going to make the playoffs. And if they lose this game as a divisional matchup in Detroit, a team that they have historically walked over the past couple seasons with Aaron Rodgers or in their tenure with Rodgers, a 3.5-point underdog for Detroit. I don't know. I don't love the Lions here. If anything, if this line goes below a field goal, I actually might take the Packers. This is a game I don't really have a specific opinion either way. But I do like the over-under. I like this game to go under. I know the Lions early on were scoring all those points going up against this Packers team. I'm seeing a 49.5-point over-under. I like the under on this one to just in case that Rodgers can't really get things rolling. I feel like both offenses could struggle in this one. I like the under 49.
Yeah, Mac, you got it.
You want me to go? All right, so yeah, like you said, Aaron Rodgers has absolutely tormented this division and obviously the Lions over the past decade, and I think that he will do that again this week. I obviously they don't have a lot of confidence up there in Green Bay, and coming off of a game that they just they kind of got blown out by the Bills in my opinion. They lost by 10. They covered a spread, but it was a backdoor cover, and they were never really in contention to win that game. They just don't. Aaron Rodgers has no confidence. He has nothing in his receivers. Um, the defense looked all right, I guess, but Josh Allen still did what he wanted to. I just don't think they have a lot going for them right now. But even with that being said, the Lions are 1-6. The Lions are not who they were supposed to be this year. They are legitimately probably one of the worst three, definitely the worst three teams in the league, maybe the worst team in the league. I just don't think they have much going for them. I think that defense is going to get picked apart. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do whatever he wants because he still owns the Bears and the Lions, in my opinion. Vikings maybe not so much, but he'll do what he wants to, and I think he'll cover a spread here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call. I mean, the Packers got to get back on track at some point, right? Like you would think. I mean,
we've been saying this about the Bucs all season, dude.
Huh?
We've been saying the same thing about the Bucs all season. Two old quarterbacks. They're
well, no, I know. Well, here's the difference. I know the Bucs are going to get on track just because their division is so bad. The Packers have the Vikings in their division, so I don't know if they will. Which is good for me because at the beginning of the year I was high on the Vikings. Remember, I was saying I got them at very good odds to win that division. They're sitting 5-1. I know it's still really early, but I think that this defense is just too much for Jared Goff. He's not that good, right? Like he's still Jared Goff, and the injuries to their running backs, they've been in and out of the lineup with Williams and Swift. Big Swift guy. I don't know. I like the Packers in this spot. You said the spread was what again?
3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that half point and take the Packers in Lambeau to get back, or they're not in Lambeau, but take the Packers to get back to 4-5. I like Rodgers in the spot. I think it's a get right game for him. That's like one of the worst ranked defenses in the league. So I think he gets Lazard back this week too, which is pretty big. So I like the Packers to cover 3 here. Definitely gonna take that line. I think.
What do you think on the over under? Since either of you said anything.
It's so hard. I like a Packers team total over.
You like a Packers team total over, you said, Ace?
Yeah, it's just weird because with the Lions, like they have the potential to put up points, especially with everybody healthy. It's weird they got rid of Hawkinson too, so that's something that's interesting.
I think this is a big game for the Packers defense coming off a game for the Bills. So I think that's why the Lions could struggle, and if they do, like I said, if Rodgers also struggles, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be on either side of this game. So
yeah.
I just want to root for no points.
I'm going to stay away from the points, but I don't think the Lions really struggled with the Patriots defense. And I think the Packers defense is kind of built similarly. So I don't think they're going to have many points there. But then again, they can pop. We've seen them do it all year. But I do think that the Packers win this game by 3 points or more. Big divisional game. Aaron Rodgers has been there and done that. In a tight one, I definitely want Rodgers against a weak defense versus Goff against this tough defense.
Yeah, he's done this too many times.
With Lazard back, he actually gets one of his boys too. So you have Lazard, you have Jones, Dylan, Tanyan.
Randall Cobb's still out, I think.
Yeah, and Christian Watson's banged up, but they have Sammy Watkins back. He didn't do much, but he's a good 3 behind Dobbs and Lazard with Tanyan.
He's someone that Aaron Rodgers can trust to throw the ball to that'll catch it.
I was literally just going to say those exact words.
That's his biggest. Yeah, Lazard, Watkins, they're just 2 veterans that you can trust that will catch the ball, and that's his biggest thing right now. So
might look at a Lazard touchdown this week in his first game back in a while.
He does not like that Watson kid.
Christian Watson?
No, because he drops the ball. He drops the ball.
They scheme him the ball with the end arounds and stuff like that.
Did you guys see that catch by that Dobbs guy, whatever the fuck his name is?
Romeo Dobbs. A lot of people were high on him coming into the year. He's a big guy with speed.
Dude, that catch, he's got hands too.
Watson,
yeah, I like the Packers here getting 3 points for sure. Definitely like that. Love that this week, actually.
Yeah, like I said, coming into that matchup, going to be an interesting one. Wait till Sunday to see our picks on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and more. All right, let's move forward. Another 1 o'clock game we got is the Minnesota Vikings at the Washington Commanders. The Vikings the favorite here at -3.5 again. Their money line sitting at -172 in the over-under at 43.5. No trends from me in this one, but 70% of the money seems to be going towards the Vikings. So let's shoot it over to Mackie to start off this one.
Yeah, the Vikings have looked very good as of late. 6-1, coming off a bye last week. Am I correct? Yeah.
Beat the Cardinals last week. Beat the Cardinals last week.
Are you sure?
In
Oh,
Minnesota.
yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Well, cut that out then. Yeah, Vikings have looked. They have had their bye, but Vikings have looked really good recently. You know, they're 6-1 ahead of that NFC North division up there. Not a lot of people saw that coming into the year, so they have a lot of confidence right now. On the other hand, Washington's on a 3-game winning streak. You know, Taylor Heineke had a game-winning drive last game, ended up beating the Colts 17-16, so they have a lot of confidence going right now too. This could be a weird game for the Vikings. You know, a 3.5-point spread. We've seen them pull away from games as of late and been covering spreads, but you know, you're playing in Washington right now with a team that's on a 3-game winning streak with a lot of confidence. Taylor Heineke's getting the job done right now, and you know, he seems to be their guy. So this could be a weird spread. I probably won't touch it. I do think the Vikings win this game, though. I don't think Washington has enough in it to pull it out, but they could keep it close. We've seen them keep games close and lose games by 1, 2, 3 points. So it could be a weird spread, but I like the Vikings to win this game. I think they keep rolling. Kirk Cousins is playing better than I thought he would.
Yeah, kind of like you said, the Vikings have left the back door open a couple of times on some of these games, taking the early lead. That elite offense, they're getting T.J. Hawkinson this week. They're actually, to prove that point, 6-1, obviously straight up, but 3-4 against the spread. Anytime a team has one loss, but they've 3-4 against the spread, that just shows they're playing in big games, keep getting big spreads. But 3.5, this is a weird number. I don't know which way to go on this one personally. This is a coming home game for Kirk Cousins against the team that drafted him in Washington. You got to maybe see, could he have a day here against his old team? With Hawkinson in the lineup, you might want to look at that. Maybe they're going to go to him early. This is a tough number. I might buy the point and go with the Vikings here. I think this could be a game where we see the true Washington Commanders come out. Obviously, the news coming that they might be selling the team. I think they're going to catch an L this week, personally. But I like the Vikings here. I think I do.
Yeah, I love this line. I know it's another favorite that I like, but 3 points from this Vikings team. I think they're going to keep pace. I think the Packers and the Vikings get it done. Maybe do an AFC North money line parlay there. But I think their 3 points is too much. It's a great team. There's not much of an answer. I know they have Heineke, but there's a lot of potential there with the Vikings. Justin Jefferson hasn't popped in a bit, so I could see him having a big game. Love the Vikings -3 in this spot. I know they're on the road, but I'm not a big believer in the Commanders at all. So like that, and I'll like some maybe some Cook or Jefferson props here. Hawkinson, nice ad, but new to the playbook, so I don't know how much he's going to get involved. But with Irv Smith on the IR, definitely nice to have. I like the Vikings here -3 for sure, though.
Good takes, boys. I'm thinking with all the money sitting on the Vikings, it might be the right way to go. I'm not sure. Alrighty, next up we have the Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are the favorite this week at -7.5. Their money line sitting at -360 in the over-under at 42.5. No trends from me in this one, but I don't know if I see Baker Mayfield in the Panthers doing anything with the Bengals this week. What do you guys think? Ace, you want to start us?
Yeah, I think you meant to say PJ Walker.
Sorry.
PJ Walker.
Yep, sorry.
PJ Walker been leading the charge lately, though. He's a former XFL quarterback. The guy's just a baller, you know. he likes to fight and keep himself in every game. Beat the Bucks. Should have grabbed the win last week. Kind of screwed over Mackie and I. The Panthers, we said we weren't going to bet him at the beginning of the year. Mackie did it again. So suckered me into doing it. Too.
Brutal.
Shout out DJ Moore. He was the hero than the chump.
Whoever their kicker is too, I forget his name, but I don't even want
Eddie
to think of him.
Pinheiro.
I don't even want to think of him. Don't even say it.
Yeah, you hate to see that, but like I said, I'm gonna like the under in this game. That's a lot of points for the Bengals to give up, especially without Jamar Chase. They really struggled. But I know what I am gonna play from this game is gonna be Donta Foreman to have a big day. He's been eating ever since he's been entrenched as the starting running back. We saw Nick Chubb run all over him last week. I think Foreman finds the end zone, finds some pay dirt, and he hits his yardage total. I know Chubb might be playing this week to back him up and split some carries, but
I saw he's heavily questionable.
Who? Chubb? Yeah. So I like.
Yeah, that's what that would be.
Yeah, Donta Foreman. I really like to go off this week. So I don't 7.5. A lot of points for a Bengals team struggling without their boy Jamar. I don't know what you guys think,
dude. I don't know because the Carolina Panthers will never be on my card ever again. I can promise you that ever again. But I don't know. This Bengals team is there's so many questions to it. I mean, you get blown out to a pretty. I mean, it's divisional opponent. I understand it's a primetime game, but you get blown out. You put up a shitty effort to a pretty depleted Browns team, and they were on a 4-game losing streak, whatever they were on. Jacoby Brissett.
The Browns gave them every chance in hell to come back.
Dude, it was 8-0 at a half, or actually no, I could be wrong. 11-0. 11-0.
I got my kick I needed in the first half, but then they just kept getting touchdowns. I was like, can we just kick a field goal?
They couldn't do anything. Joey B couldn't do anything. They couldn't get anything going. I was like, all right, this under is absolutely hitting. And then I come back and I see 34 points in the second half, and just Joey B over 1.5 touchdowns. I was so mad.
2 missed field goals. That could have been an easy 2-unit loss, though.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to take your pushes as wins, but it sucks to just leave so much money out there on the board. But getting back,
blocked field goal on the first drive, dude. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is the first one of these I take, and I get a blocked kick on the first possession." I literally was texting you guys. I was like, "They're gonna kick the ball the first possession." I was like, "No, the Browns are not getting a touchdown on the first drive. They go down, kick field goal, ace goes blocked." I'm like, "You're fucking with me." I get the notification, block kick. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It was a deep ball too. But getting back to this game, I think the Bengals win this game. I'm definitely not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch the spread. I think it's a sketchy spread. Too many points for a team that hasn't proved much this year. So just for the sake of conversation, I'll say Bengals win this game, but I don't have a play in the line at all. I don't like this game at all.
Yeah. Bengals, like you said, we don't really need to get too much into that Browns game. Looked like shit last week. Coming home against an inferior Panthers team, getting 7.5 points. I don't necessarily like that. This is one of the games I might be looking at my first half total. Maybe Panthers start this game slow. Bengals start this game slow. Things get rolling in the second half. Both of these teams have shown that they put up the points in the second half. First half is sitting at under 21.5. That could be something that I'm looking at. Maybe like a 10-3, 10-7 first half. But like you said, Mackie, I think I also maybe would look at the Bengals in the first half. I think this could be a get right game for the Bengals. We've shown them start the season slow, back on everyone's radar with a couple of big wins, and now kind of struggling last week, like we said. I think they could come home and pretty handily take care of the Panthers, but I don't love that 7.5. I think they could backdoor cover that, but we also know that the Panthers kicker can't make shit. So you might want to be able to look at that. I do like the Bengals to win this game. 7.5 is tough. This could be prime teaser opportunity. Get them down to a 0.5-point money line.
Might be a good one to add there with the Eagles, like Ace was saying earlier in the episode before you got on, Huff. Or maybe right after you got on.
I didn't hear that.
Couldn't remember.
Yeah, definitely add in I was saying the Eagles and a teaser would be a nice thing to add. Eagles and who did I say earlier that I really liked in the tease? I think it was the Bills. The Bills is who we loved in the tease.
That's right.
Okay. Big spreads are scary to tease sometimes. You're like, I should be getting points here, but you're like -4. I'm like, ugh. Aren't the Eagles -14?
Eagles -12, I believe.
I saw 14 on FanDuel. That's scary if you do it on FanDuel.
Yeah, I saw 13 and a
Because
half.
you get 10, do you think? I mean, Texans could easily lose by 24.
Yeah.
Bills are my favorite tease play so far that we've looked at.
Yeah, I like the Bengals in this spot to come back home and get right. Yeah, they don't still have Jamar Chase, but Higgins last week, obviously on Monday night, had a big game. Second half, catching that big touchdown pass to fuck Mackey on the over 1.5, under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Burrow.
That
I
was
thought
looking so good.
when they were down that big, you knew they were going to just start slinging it.
I didn't think he was gonna get, dude. No, because I got to watch the first half and I had to get on the ice. And I get out of practice. I'm like expecting to see 3-0 up 4 units, dude. And I'm looking at 1-0-1. I don't even think I was up a unit.
Didn't even move.
Yeah, 1-1-1. Don't even think I was up a unit or up anything. So it was definitely disappointing to come out to. I hate when that happens because I'm like, whenever I watch a game, nothing like this happens, and then I go on the ice for an hour and 1,000 people score, 3 people get shot, and
I was watching I was, as soon as he got that second one, I'm like, oh my God. And then I looked at the total. I'm like, oh my God, he is so close to both of them. And then they kicked they went for 2 or kicked the extra point. And I was like, oh my God, he literally pushes here. Then no one scored again. I was like, dude, he literally just went 1-1-1, no unit movement on a double unit play too.
I was so confident on that over under too.
Like I said, 2 missed field goals there. Like you said, you got to take your pushes as wins sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got too much else to say about this one. This is kind of a shitty game. Definitely one of the snooze fests of the week, in my opinion. This could be a game where the Bengals just rout them, in my opinion. Like, look, I'm seeing 55% of the money on the Panthers. Why are the Panthers getting public money?
I don't know what bozos have been on this team.
I wouldn't bet. Yeah, too many points for the Bengals. I think they have a good week, but they struggled without Jamar. I think they win by like 3 games, maybe. Maybe McPherson gets right and kicks some through for himself, but I'm definitely staying away from this one. Maybe Donta Foreman is one we'll look at, though.
Like you said, Huff, I think it's going to be the snooze fest of the week. Not too excited about that one. But I am a little excited about this next one, the LA Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Chargers the favorite in this one at -3. Their money line is sitting at -166, and the over-under sitting at 49.5. No trends from me in this one, but the Falcons getting points here at home, +3. I don't hate them. I know the Chargers, not a bad team, but giving the Falcons points, kind of like. What do you guys think? Mackie, you want to start us?
Yeah, 1 second. My bad. Somebody else start this one.
Ace, you want to start us with this one?
With the Falcons at home this week, 3 points is nice to see them as an underdog. The way they've been playing football this year, but I think that the tides are starting to turn for the Chargers. They're going to start getting some wins. They need to stay in pace in that division and in that conference. The Falcons are riding high after barely squeaking one out against the lowly Panthers, like we were alluding to last week. I like Justin Herbert I think they're coming out of a bye last week, the Chargers. So I like Justin Herbert and the rest of the offense to get healthy, get another week under the belt. Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer to come back. There's just too many people to come back for the Chargers. After going to overtime and barely squeaking one out and riding high, I think the Falcons dropped this one at home. 3 points isn't a big spread. I know you guys love the Falcons to cover. They've been that underdog all year. But, give me Justin Herb, the Herb, to have a big day. Austin Eckler to find the end zone again. Guy's a menace on the ground, catches the ball through the air. So I like the Chargers here. One of the better teams in the league. Justin Herbert, once a MVP front runner before the season, gets right against a low Falcons team. Do want to shout out, though, Cordell Patterson just practiced this Wednesday. So it's another piece for the Falcons to get back. A little feisty team in the AFC South, leading the way in that division, actually. But, yeah, I'm leaning Chargers, definitely. You guys?
I kind of like the Falcons here. I'm on the other side. This Chargers team has disappointed me time after time, and I really just don't think they have it in them. they're constantly overrated, in my opinion. I mean, this is a weird line, so I feel like a lot of people are going to take Chargers. I haven't looked at the money, but I just think this Falcons team is a lot better than people think, and they're really not. They're not a fluke. Marcus Mariota's been playing some good football, and they got if they can get Cordell Patterson back this year, I really like them to cover this spread right here. I think they can even win this game outright. Chargers, they got a lot going on. Keenan Allen's probably not even going to be back this week. They still got a bunch of injuries. They're not 100% healthy. Justin Herbert still dealing with this rib injury. I know he's playing through something. So they just don't look like they should have this year. They're a very disappointing team this year, and I think it carries over into this week. And I think the Falcons prove that they're really not just a fluke team with 4-4. I think they can win this game outright. They just have a really tough defense. That defense just gets torn apart. But like I said, Justin Herbert's not really healthy, so it's tough when your ribs hurt every single time you throw the ball. It might throw a few yards short every time.
Yeah. I don't necessarily like either side for the reasons that both of you guys said. The Chargers have been kind of inconsistent traveling over to Atlanta. Not necessarily in that matchup specifically, just saying that long flight, or west to east road trip could have a toll on them. But the Falcons have also shown their ability to put up points. High flying Chargers offense, ace, like you said, with Eckler. I know the receivers just don't really like to play football with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. They just can't both ever be on the field. And I'm seeing again that Keenan Allen's probably going to miss this week. Mike Williams is out. But Herbert's shown the ability to put up points even without them, just going to his guy Eckler. They have a nice tight end. They have skill players all around the field. I feel like they like to go to that Kelly, the running back Kelly that comes in for Eckler too on the goal line. And I like the over here. I'm seeing 92% of the money on this under, and I like the over. I think
total again?
39.5. I think both of these teams are able to put up points on each other. Mac, you said you said it. Falcons is terrible defense. I don't know if they still are without AJ Terrell. That's one I'm going to want to look at. And the Chargers defense has just been so banged up all year, and the Falcons have shown their ability to put up points. I like the over of 49 here.
I would never take an under with this Falcons defense. I don't know how 92% of the money is on the under. I like the over too. I'm with you here.
And with the way that this Chargers defense has been playing and the amount of firepower they have on the I like them. I like them this week, but I think they can put up a lot of points. And the backdoor Falcons, though, that's what's scary. So a lot of points I could see flying off the board.
Yeah.
I don't take a lot of overs. So when I like an over, I usually like it for like a lot of reasons. I mean, sometimes my reasoning means not. I mean, gambling, like sometimes people can say all these fucking facts and it doesn't even mean anything. And they just lose outright. But I don't know. I usually don't take over-unders unless I really like them.
Huff stating his reasoning for his over-under there. Lots of good stuff, boys. Again, I think I'm pretty excited about that one. Let's jump into our next one. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tighter spread here. The Raiders are the favorite at -1.5. Their money line at -124, and the over-under sitting at 47.5. No trends from me in this 1 o'clock game. Ace, what are you thinking for this matchup? Raiders at Jags.
Huff was just talking about loving an over. If I ever loved an over, this was definitely one. 47, not a lot of points, in the way that Raiders defense plays. We've seen them get lit up all year. I think they'll be giving up points to Trevor Lawrence, who's looked good. He has a lot of weapons, and Doug Pearson has them playing well down there, and they're at home. But at the same time, I feel like Derek Carr gets the monkey off his back a little bit, and he has to put some points up after getting shut out last week as a heavy favorite. So they burned me last week, so I don't think I can take the Raiders in this spot. And I do kind of like the Jaguars, but I'm going to take the over here, over 47. Definitely one of my favorite plays this week.
Yeah, I love the Raiders here. I think this team is. I've been waiting. Like we keep saying, the Packers and the Bucs. When are they going to get their shit together? Last week the Raiders scored no points, so now they can just score double the amount on this Jaguars team. And this offense hasn't shown the ability to put up points. 1.5 point favorite going to Jacksonville. I love the Raiders here.
I don't know about that logic, Cuff. I don't know if it just carries over into the next week, your points, but
You're telling Devontae Adams isn't getting a touchdown this week, dude. This team is so due. Like you play like
Darren
that
Waller,
last
Josh
Alright.
Jacobs, Hunter Renfro,
Team, it's
Josh
not
McDaniels.
due. They're not that good, dude. They're just simply not that good, and they proved it last week, putting up a donut against. I mean, the Saints have a pretty good defense. Don't get me wrong, but
The
any team that
Saints at
puts up a
home.
any team that puts up a defense or any team that puts up a donut, come on. You can't have that much going for you, in my opinion. Um, I like Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars here. I think they get it done at home, and I just think the Raiders are so depleted right now. They had so much high hopes coming into the season, trying to fight for that. They thought they were going to be in a fight for that division. It's just like you're looking at a 2-5 record. You're not even beating the subpar mediocre teams, and I don't know. I like Trevor Lawrence at home here. I think he gets it done. I think they have a little more going for them than the Raiders do right now.
saw a stat today that Trevor Lawrence has never won a game that he has thrown an interception in, no matter what point of the game it was in, and he has the worst win percentage of a quarterback in NFL history through their first 25 starts.
Well, the tide's got to turn at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. You want what's going to be big though? This is an important game for down the stretch because we expect both these teams to be fighting for their division almost, or at least fighting for one of those late wild card spots. So whoever comes out of this, big game for both teams. I think a lot of points fly off the board. That Lawrence stat's interesting, but the DBs in that defense from the Raiders, I don't think they know how to intercept the ball. So I think he's fine this week. I see a lot of points going off the boards though. A lot of good receivers. Not that great of a secondary for either squad. I can see both of these stellar pocket passers having good days. Maybe a pair of 300-yard passers in this one.
Crosby could have a day hunting him down. The Jags have a good offensive line. I mean, he has the weapons around him. ETN had a great game last week.
ETN is good.
They finally traded. I'm not saying finally, like that kid was good for them, but now they're forced to use ETN, and that's really showing them what they should have done the entire time. But they built their stock up on that Robinson kid, shipped him off to New York. Now it's the Travis Etienne show in Jacksonville, and I think if they want to win games, the ball in his hands and take it out of Trevor Lawrence's hands.
For sure. This will be a fun one to watch, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be a good one to watch, that being our final 1 o'clock game. Let's move into the 4 o'clock slate. The first game up is the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, the favorite in this matchup at an even 2. Their money line at a minus 130. Seahawks money line at a plus 110. And the over-under at 49.5. Not much in the trends for me here. Cardinals the favorite. Mackie, you want to get us going on this one in Arizona?
Yeah, this is a weird one. I mean, off the rip, I'm looking at the money right now. 81% is on Seattle +2 and 72% on their money line. So obviously the public loves Seattle here, and for good reason. I mean, they're on fire right now. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Cardinals don't have anything going for them right now. Cardinals are not a good team to play on their home field. They're worse on their home field than they are on the road. So, I mean, all signs point to the Seahawks right now, right? But I don't know. What's up, Ace?
I agree with your stat saying that they weren't. I think I brought this up 2 weeks ago when they last played their home game that they ended up winning in the prime time. The 7 in a row or 6 in a row that they had lost previous to that home win to break the streak were DeAndre Hopkins-less Cardinals. And this was the point I wanted to bring up right away. DeAndre Hopkins is back. We can bet on the Cardinals. They're a good team. That division is going to get right. They deserve to get to a playoff spot like they did like they came close to last year. So I'd like them with D-Hop. But, Mac, you can make your point again. I just want to throw that in.
Well, that's exactly what I was getting to, is that they now have DeAndre Hopkins back, and he's definitely a decision maker. You say Cardinals are a team that we can bet on again. I agree in the sense when you play teams like this. I don't think they're going to be a powerhouse. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year. I think they get a few more wins against their shittier opponents that they wouldn't win without him. But yeah, this is a game where they can actually win, and I think that his connection with Kyle Murray right now and the way that he's playing, just throwing the ball up and he's catching everything. So I just think that Seattle doesn't really have anyone on that side of the ball that can even contest with DeAndre Hopkins. So I like Arizona here. I think they cover the spread, and I think they get a nice win here.
This will be a big test for Tariq Woolen, the defensive back in Seattle. I've been pretty high on him all year. He's shown the ability to cover some of these elite wide receivers. I've given Debo
Say
a
name
run for his
again?
money and Tariq Woolen. He's my
Out of, do
27th.
you know where he's out of?
No, he's just been a dog all year for the Seattle. He locked up Cortland Sutton in that first game against Broncos. Him, Surtain, like there's a lot of corners I like in the Sauce Gardner. I sent you guys that today. I think those three are like elite young corners, but I'm right where they're with you guys. I love the Cardinals here. -2. I think they could win by a field goal on home and we win. Like, yeah,
Maybe we can get
give me
a
the
team
Cardinals
card
here.
rolling for once.
This is 2-unit Cardinals territory.
Especially with the
Give me that
money,
team.
like come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the Cardinals.
Good stuff out of that first 4 o'clock game, Seahawks and Cardinals. Let's jump into our next one. I'm semi-excited about this one. I think it's going to be an interesting game. The Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs the favorite here at -3. Their money line at -146 in the over-under at 42.5. Some trends I got for this one are that the Rams are 10-2 against the spread in their last 12 games against Tampa Bay, as well as 2-10 straight up in their last 12 games played in Week 9. Again, 2-10 straight up, 2-9-1 against the spread in their last 12 played in Week 9. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers have lost 6 consecutive games against the spread. Entering their game this week against the Rams, this is the first and only time Brady has lost 6 consecutive games against the spread since the 2007-2008 season. Also, Brady's 2-6 against the spread start is the worst start of his NFL career.
Coming into the season, this game was probably looked at to be one of the top 5 games of the year. And now we're looking at it as a dud. What do you even take on this game? I mean, both teams look like absolute shit.
It's just both of them are stay away until they get right. I mean, this is a telling game, I guess, because both teams really need it, and it's so much star power on both sides of the ball. I like the Bucs still. I mean, there's just too much talent. The injured Matt Stafford is what scares me a lot.
He did not want to say that.
What?
Huh?
He said Bucks so hesitantly. You were like, I like the Bucks.
I'm not betting this game.
Dude, I mean,
I still think the Bucs win that division.
Oh yeah,
I mean, yeah, they're only a game out right now, and obviously they're the best team in the division when playing to the best of their ability. Dude, they needed that win last week, and they played like shit.
They have all year.
Lamar and the Ravens are a little better than, or I could trust them a little more than the Rams, Stafford and the Rams right now. But still, I don't think they win this game. I don't think they beat any decently good teams. They just don't look like a good team at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. It's this game's going to be interesting though. It's definitely going to be a game I watch. One thing I think we've kind of strayed away from that we might want to get back to is Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the league too, and he always eats. So
there's a chance he misses this game.
What'd you say?
There's a chance he misses this game. He got injured late last week in their matchup.
Oh, I did see that. Is that with the turf? People complaining about the turf with that injury?
I forget what his actual injury is. I'm gonna see if I can find it here real quick. But yeah, I have him in fantasy. I saw he was listed as questionable. I didn't see the exact, like I said, what the injury is being classified as. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up on the score app right now. But
without him, I don't see how much they can create offense, especially even without Shaq Barrett for the year. That Bucs defense is so good. Like honestly, I don't know how.
Just his ankle.
Yeah, I bet you he suits up. He likes to play through it, but I like the Bucs in this spot. Hesitantly, not betting it myself until either team shows their true colors.
Yeah,
I
certainly
agree.
can't take the Rams without Kupp if he doesn't play.
I just don't think you can bet on this game right now. It's so just two teams that just you have no idea what they're going to go out there and do. They just look awful. Kupp still looks good.
Kupp did
Kupp
not
is the only
practice
player
today.
in either of these games that look good.
Cup, Lenny's looked okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Did not
Maybe a
practice
little.
today, but I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the league. He could not practice all week and play on Sunday. So I'm with both of you. I can't even give a pick on this game. I don't even want my name attached to this game. Like my opinion.
I will watch it though because whoever wins this game could have a potential to get into the playoffs. And if either team gets in, I wouldn't want to see them if I'm the Eagles.
Yeah,
like that take.
yeah. If one of these teams gets hot, if one of them makes the playoffs, they're going to do well. All right, that wraps up our 4 o'clock slate. Let's move into the Sunday primetime game, the Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are our favorite here at minus 12.5, another pretty high spread. The money line sitting at minus 650 in the over-under at 46.5. The trends I got for this one are the Titans have covered 5 in a row, but did nothing at the trade deadline. The Chiefs are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against the Titans, and the Titans are 1-8 straight up and 2-7 against the spread in their past 9 as the double-digit dog. What do we think is going to happen here? Ace, you want to run this one for us? Mackie.
Yeah, I remember when Mackey dropped the first 3U play of the year. It was on a Travis Kelce touchdown. I feel like he hasn't been finding the end zone as much as he should. And in the prime time, we know Patrick Mahomes loves to eat. So does Kelce. They added Kadarius Toney, so I'm eager to see. I know Andy Reid said he's going to ease him into the roster. I believe they picked up no, is it just Toney that they picked up at the deadline? Yeah, but either way, Pacheco's come onto the scene. Then they have a plethora of running backs with McKinnon, Edwards-Helaire. I like the Chiefs to roll in this. Not going to touch the points. Definitely going to be a prop game. I love my Mahomes and Kelce props. Those are two of the most. That's probably the best duo in the league. Obviously, people always think wide receiver, quarterback, but receiver, tight end's a receiver, and quarterback. Give me Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in the prime time. They're going to light it up. Mahomes is going to go for 300 plus, and Kelsey's going to go for his catch prop, yard prop, and touchdown. So I'm going to be looking there. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but yeah, 12.5 is just way too many points for me. But I like Mahomes to roll, definitely. Maybe a team total Chiefs, honestly.
I definitely agree. Yeah, team total is something that I was looking at as well. I don't know how high it's going to be, but I think this Titans defense just isn't very good. And obviously, the Chiefs offense rolls. So I think this is a prop game. I think it's definitely looking at touchdown props, receiving yards, rushing yards, whatever. I just think the Chiefs eat this game. Titans are 5-2, but I think they're more of a fake 5-2. I don't really know about them really being contenders this year, especially is Malik Willis going to be a quarterback this game?
That's what I was wondering. Who's at quarterback this week?
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis is at quarter.
What's his name still hurt?
He's questionable, but I've heard I want them to go with Malik Willis here.
He combined for a total of 100 yards on offense last week.
Yeah, I just don't think that he has it in him to even contend in this game. I really like the Chiefs spread if Malik Willis is playing quarterback for the Tennessee Titans.
What was I going to say? Derrick Henry touchdown, though. I'm going to look at that, too. He's going to get the ball early and often. We know that. So besides Kelce and Mahomes, Henry in the prime time, King Henry, I could see him getting in. Definitely.
I don't hate the Titans spread here. I like it. I think if this goes to 13, I think I might be taking the Titans plus the 13. Sunday Night Football. I know last week we saw the Packers backdoor cover a 10.5-point spread as an underdog, losing the game outright. I think
Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, I know, but I'm telling you.
Malik Willis.
Spreads in primetime. I'm telling you, Bears last week, Steelers last Sunday Night Football. This week, both underdogs hit. Browns and Packers. Like, dude, I'm telling you, these primetime underdogs are back. I'll take the Titans.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I like the 13 points, and that money line is probably crazy. Maybe even something to throw a half unit on if you're feeling confident in it. But I love.
I don't think they beat Mahomes in Kansas City. I think they just keep it close.
The Chiefs in the prime time, they're gonna roll. I think there's a lot of points from both sides, though. I think that Henry could get in twice, honestly.
I say Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns. Malik Willis runs one in.
Yeah, first career in the prime time. You hear that? But I still think it's just the passing game from Kansas City is just too much for that offense, even with Tannehill.
I think the spread's only going to get bigger, so I'm going to wait until Sunday.
Definitely going to be a prop game for me. I might have 4 plays on this game. I love betting Chiefs props, Mahomes, Kelsey, and everybody loves the King. So be lookout for the card for those plays.
Good.
Alrighty, that's going to do it for our Sunday primetime game. Let's jump into the Monday primetime game. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints. The Ravens are our favorite here at -2.5. Their money line is sitting at -138, and the over/under sitting at 48.5. Here on FanDuel, I see that 78% of the money is on Baltimore spread, and with that, the trends I have are the Ravens are 14-3 straight up in their last 17 non-conference games, as well as 5-12 against the spread in their last 17 games as the favorite. The Saints are 2-9 against the spread in their last 11 Monday night games, as well as 2-9 straight up in their last 11 games as the underdog. What do we think here? Some interesting trends to think about. Get your brain moving. 78% of the money on Ravens spread here on FanDuel. Huff, what do you think?
I don't know because I just said my take about the Sunday night and Monday night underdogs have kind of been hitting, and I've been betting them, if not on the card, off the card, most of them. I didn't take the Packers. I did have the Browns. Last week I had the Steelers, and I think the Monday night game, Bears, yeah. So I don't know if I can go against it here. I think this is a weird game. A lot of money on the Ravens. Saints +3. I don't like it at all. At all.
Yeah. I'm on the opposite side of you here, Huff. I mean, the Ravens just did this in primetime a week ago. They beat a better team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, than the New Orleans Saints. But that Saints defense at home, Mackie said it earlier, with the way they played last week and shut out the Raiders. I know that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are a whole different beast. But I like the Ravens a lot here in this spot. This is a spot for them. 2.5 points is not a lot. Lamar Jackson, I like the under here with the way these two teams play. I think the Ravens defense has kind of played poorly this year, but they pick it up a little bit. And then with Lamar Jackson, I'm taking 2.5 points for sure, especially against this Andy Dalton led team. What do you got? What are you thinking, Mackie?
I think it's
exactly. It definitely could be a trap game because Lamar Jackson and the Ravens should definitely be more than 2.5 point favorites in my opinion.
It should be a 5.5 point spread.
But I just think, dude, the only thing is that going into New Orleans and playing against that defense, their defense is very good at home, like Ace said. We just saw them shut out the Las Vegas Raiders. But I don't know. I feel like the Ravens are getting things going. I think Lamar Jackson's definitely getting things going. They're coming off 2 nice wins. Obviously, anytime you beat Tom Brady, it's a nice win. They struggled a bit in the beginning of the season. They should probably be 7-1 right now. They've few games that they lost that they definitely should have won. I just think at their best potential, this team is one of the best teams in the league, and I think they've showed they can be one of the best teams in the league.
I agree with that 100%.
I won't be putting my money on it because they fucked me too many times. Excuse my language, but I do think they definitely cover 2.5 points here against this team, the Saints team.
Yeah, Mac, I agree with you. We were so high on them. We had my brother on the pod at the beginning of the season. We're all riding the Ravens. I think this is the best team they've had. Defense has definitely underperformed. A lot of potential here, and I think they get it right back-to-back primetime games on the road. Take care of that weak NFC South. They're way too good of a team not to. I do like a slow-paced game here. A lot of running from both sides. So I'm liking Ravens in the under.
The Ravens are 3-4-1 against the spread, and the Saints are 3-5. But the Saints' 3 covers, I believe, are all on their home field.
Look at who those covers are against, though. I think the Raiders
Bucks.
Yeah, those offenses are nothing like the Lamar Jackson. Even when your defense is playing great, can create offense.
And you're
true.
high on the Raiders. They just shut down that offense.
I think the Ravens are a whole different beast, though. Like you've said, they've shut down pocket
I
passers.
think Lamar is a different beast. You don't think the Ravens' offense because they have no receivers.
Yeah, exactly. I think Lamar himself, when he wins football games,
Yeah. Okay.
he's an athlete. He's MVP.
Well, he doesn't win football games because he blew a game against the Dolphins, he blew a game against the Bills, and he lost to the New York Football Giants. So, that's his biggest problem. That's his biggest problem this year is winning football games that he should be winning. So
maybe we should take the Ravens in the first half now.
Yeah, it's definitely more. It's looking to be more profitable. I think they win this game. I definitely do. And I was just saying that to be a dick. I do love Lamar Jackson. I love this Ravens team. But him closing out games hasn't been as easy as it should have been this year. So this could. I think it's a better game than we think it's going to be. But I do think he covers a 2.5 point spread. Definitely, could even be by the foot of Justin Tucker. We know how he is. So.
What was I going to say? Yeah, that's two things I'd like to kick. Is you have the best kicker in the NFL in a dome. You have Lamar Jackson, who's an X factor, and then you have a weak Saints offense. I think I don't know about you guys, but I think that the Ravens are the best team in the AFC North, and I think that the AFC South is the worst division, or the NFC South is the worst division in the NFL. So I think they should be able to handle business here. My theory.
What about the NFC East?
Oh, Mackie, because you just said that, I saw something I saved on Instagram about the NFC East.
23-8, if that's what you're referring to. That's their record.
So the 23 wins by the NFC East so far this season are the most combined wins in a single division through Week 8 since division realignment in 2002.
Wow. Okay. I'm even coming from a Cowboys fan. Look at the strength of schedule. It's actually pretty hilarious how bad the teams are that all of us play, dude. It's like insane. We all have the easiest schedules ever.
Divisions.
Well, in the AFC, yeah, but
yeah,
we play different teams in the NFC. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's pretty insane the strength of schedule.
And it doesn't get any harder.
Dude, look at Jalen Hurts' quarterbacks he has to play. The hardest ones, he has one against Aaron Rodgers, a shitty Packers team this year, and then he has Dak. The rest is like Ryan Tannehill.
Well, he beat the DeAndre Hopkins Cardinals, so that's not a real team.
Yeah, it's poverty team without DeAndre Hopkins.
The Cardinals in that game, they should have won that game. Their spread, so I hit. But
yeah, going to be a good week of football.
Ravens
definitely.
Monday Night Football. My exact card. Obviously, our Sunday and Monday cards are the most likely to change from this podcast, but that's what I'm leaning. Definitely check our socials for those plays because we always load it up on the prime time for you.
Yeah, I think that.
Fact.
Yeah, I think that's just gonna. I think that's just gonna just about do it. Here this week, Week 9, and here in the NFL, lots of good stuff coming from us. Ace said it. Look out for our picks here on social media, Instagram, Twitter, etc. That's all I got, boys. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, pleasure talking these football games. A lot of good matchups this week. We got a lot of teams on the buys, so a lot of stuff we talked about you can apply to your betting, you can apply to your fantasy football lineups. I know a lot of people are in a pinch, so definitely check it out and let us know what you think on the social media.
All right.
I don't have to say anything. I'm good. Yo, so Jesse, I have an hour and 16.
All right. I'm going to try to pull it here from Audacity then. And that's going to do it for us this week on Hit the Books podcast. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Please be sure to share and check out our various social media platforms and check out our website. All the info is located in our link tree in the description below. And always remember to hit the books.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.